Okay. Should I just kick us off then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome back. I'm Hadrian. This is Hadrian, and this is Hadrian is Better. We're talking Hadrian.
Hadrian, the half-mortal.
Yeah. So here's the question, and I'm going to lead with this. How would you chant half-mortal? Is it half-mortal?
Half-mortal.
Okay, 3 syllables.
Yeah.
Half-mortal. Half-mortal.
Half-mortal.
Yeah, I think it has to be 3 syllables.
I got like Lord of the Rings Two Towers vibes, like they're chanting for the one orc to run with the gunpowder to blow up.
Oh yeah.
The wall.
I wish Hadrian would run into a fucking wall with a barrel of gunpowder.
He basically tried.
Yeah, he does. After 2 books of trying to get himself killed, he finally fucking does it. Killed. God damn. All thanks to Switch, that traitor.
God. I'm excited. I thoroughly enjoyed this section. And
we did it.
I liked this book. Book 2 was better.
Book 2 undoubtedly better.
Yeah, I mean, book 1 was still, I think, just really cool to set the stage. Book 1 was cool. Start of book 2, maybe not my favorite, and then it really grew on me, and I'm having fun.
I feel like the sense online is that book 2 is a somewhat dramatic step up from book 1, and I'm not sure that's how I feel. It's more just like a slight improvement on all fronts, like pacing's a little bit better. Well, I think we talked about maybe feeling like the side characters were a minor step back, just because I love Crispin so much and Gilliam Vaz, but other than that,
your boys hitting the bars with Gilliam and Crispin,
my absolute dudes.
Crispy, my brother.
Bring him, babe. He's not.
You want to rip energy drinks and play video games?
God, I just want to get fucking caffeinated and play Switch with Crispin.
I think the trade-off for me is all of the time that he spent in book 1 writing like philosophizing paragraphs that made no sense is instead in this book. I feel like he did far less of that, which was refreshing. But instead, he just has Hadrian in jail for an equivalent number of pages.
The funny thing, too, is they're like, in this section, he narrowly avoids jail. They're like, what if we made you just a permanent prisoner to the Cielsen? I was like, no, please. I want to read this series, but...
I did not want that to happen. I was like, oh my God, I can't do 2 years of him just being an aristocratic slave.
It just turns into like some Camus bullshit of a guy sitting in a cell thinking. Please,
we
no.
must imagine Sisyphus happy,
I will say there's less philosophizing, but the philosophizing he does is generally more troubling in this book. So
it is a little more unhinged because it comes out of nowhere. Like at least like you could see it, the deluge happening in book 1, where it's like, oh, he's about to talk about some stuff. This one, it's like mid-sentence.
Yeah,
tiger's evil.
And anyways, genocide is fine sometimes. Okay. Well, do we want to do summary or do we want to do just like a quick second on kind of high level feelings about the book? I know we kind of just did that, but
I think we kind of did it. Let's do a quick summary because I just want to get into it. And
okay.
Then we'll set the stage.
I wrote this and there are a lot of like tongue twisters. It's quite hard to read. So apologies for me stumbling over my own words. And 3, 2, 1, Daft Punk. Nintendo just released the new Nintendo Switch, and as luck would have it, warrior poet and professional prisoner Hadrian Marlowe is in the market for a new Switch. Switch, his no-good sucker of a friend, commits gross betrayal and hails Basander Lind and his imperial contingent to Vorgassos because, Hadrian disappeared for like 6 months, and it sort of seemed like the plan was off. Hadrian is pissed the heck off because Switch might have jeopardized the lives of the entire crew, and that was Hadrian's job, not Switch's. Ruocchio runs back a few favorite plot devices and makes Hadrian a prisoner to Basander and co., and has him forced into a role as translator for the coming negotiations with the Cielsen. Negotiations that are apparently greased by the Empire's offering of 20,000 humans to serve as slaves and/or frozen entrees for the Cielsen. And speaking of Cielsen, a full squad of our lanky alien friends shows up, and we quickly learn that they are not so friendly. In fact, they are probably evil, and they like to keep humans as poorly treated pets when they're not eating them. Yet another thing Hadrian was totally wrong about, but I am not expecting an apology to Switch or Basander Lin anytime soon. After a few short chapters of poorly handled negotiations with the Cielsen prince Aranata, Hadrian comes to the realization that some species simply can't be reasoned with, which is fortunate because Basander Lin had the same idea, and he launches a sneak attack on the Cielcin ship, killing a whole lot of aliens and Karn Sagara for some reason. Things devolve and we end up in a good old-fashioned Mexican standoff. The Cielcin prince has a bunch of humans, and Hadrian has his shitty kid. But a Mexican standoff will not last long if the parties are involved are an alien murder prince and Hadrian Marlowe. Hadrian kills the child, and the Cielcin prince launches a full-on attack on Hadrian's crew. Hadrian is eventually beheaded by the prince, but not to worry. The resurrection got you when nobody else got you. Hadrian is brought back to life by the Quiet, and he gets a revenge decapitation on the Cielcin prince, earning the very hard-to-chant title of Hadrian Half-Mortal. Now our pompous little narcissist is seen as a deity, and I can't imagine anything bad will come of it. Karn Sagara is also brought back to life through the power of science, and now we've got 2 of them. The book ends with Hadrian being elevated to space knighthood by the Emperor himself. That is a quick rise for a guy who's thinking about becoming a humble spicer just 600 pages ago. That's
well
it.
Done.
Thank
well
you.
Done.
Thank you.
I think your resurrection line, that one was interesting.
I actually left a word out, but whatever. I tried to plow through.
Yeah, you plowed. That was great.
Thank you.
The Switch one really got me.
Oh,
I thought you were. I was like, is Avery doing an ad read? Did we get sponsored?
As I was reading it, I was like, I don't think it's coming through that I know how bad this joke is. Humble listener, I know that wasn't a good joke, but I wanted to say it anyways.
God.
As the owner of a Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that.
Thank you. I'm bringing it to New York.
Let's go. We're getting in-person pod.
I got my ass handed to me by Caffey in Mario Kart World last night.
Wow. Yeah, I'm on a big losing streak to Angela in Mario Party right now, so I need another person here.
I wouldn't feel too bad because that game is 90% luck.
Yeah. it's 90% luck and 10% secretly not taking the star path so that your girlfriend can win.
All right, you got the most stars, so now you get the -10 star award that is randomly chosen. Sorry.
I was like, oh, you walked the most steps. You win.
Did you know that was part of the game? No.
It's rough.
Yeah, a poorly designed game, but it is for children.
You shut your whore mouth.
Shut your whore mouth. Flipping that little cube of beef in the minigame.
Oh, I love that one. It's so visually stunning.
That should just be the whole game.
It
beef
sizzles.
Cube.
Bro, I would pay for sizzling beef. Like,
Dude.
I wish Overcooked 2 had a close-up mode like that.
Yeah. High-def anime visual of food.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I didn't mention this. Sorry, we're getting off Howling Dark a little bit, but we're staying on Ruocchio. I did confirm that he's a weeb.
Well, was that not confirmed?
No, we theorized endlessly, but I did find an interview where he's like, I am huffing JRPGs. Like, fuck yes, I knew it. Yeah.
Which ones? Does he say, like, is he Persona?
Deep. This guy's playing, like, SNES, 90s,
wow.
like, weird JRPGs.
I'm sorry. You have no foot to stand on about weird JRPGs.
You have no evidence that you can present here that I play weird JRPGs. And I will delete whatever you say in editing.
Oh, God. I can't wait for Angela to watch us play, like, the Persona 3 remake.
Oh, my God. I want it so bad. I need it tomorrow.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of Switch games. Switch?
Well,
how do we feel?
He was disloyal, and there's nothing worse a person can do than try to not get killed.
Am I supposed to, like, hate him? It was such a reasonable thing to do, to ask for help.
Yeah, so we have been sitting here for 6 months, and we haven't heard from you. I feel like we got to get out of here. Like,
again, it's the length of time that passes in these books and the expectation that relationships stay flat is crazy to me. Like, if you didn't talk to me for 6 months, I'd be like, oh, you're dead to me. Like, cool.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe it. It's June right now. If I had spent this entire year on a ship not talking to the person who led me on this quest, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing on Vargassos?
And also, like, when we get the feedback from whatever Amazonian captain woman, I forgot her name.
Octavia?
Yes, Octavia. She was like, yeah, we were running out of food, and we're on, like, low supply, and I had to freeze everyone.
I hear that, but fuck you. And it's like, I mean, what Hadrian's saying makes no sense. That he's mad that he jeopardized the lives of the crew. It's like, hey, Hadrian, you do that a lot. I know that
That's
they sort of signed up for that, but also wasn't the whole first third of the book saying I'm not sure this is what we signed up for.
yeah, it's some serious gaslighting because then immediately later in the book, he just charges the whole Red Company into a war. Like
Absolutely.
these lives are very expendable for him.
No, it's just like entirely narcissism and like Switch like maybe getting in the way of his own goals. Like
Yeah.
it's not about the crew. It's not about galactic peace because what Switch did got this Yeltsin to the table. Like
Yeah, it did.
it all yeah, it's
He
purely
accomplished
about
more
Hadrian.
than he accomplished more of what Hadrian wanted in the long term than Hadrian could have himself.
I thought it was sort of weird too that there wasn't editorializing from present day Hadrian because all the arguments Hadrian's making, like we know how this shakes out. We know that the negotiations aren't going to go anywhere, and so does present day Hadrian, and he lights Switch up for that. And I was surprised that he didn't weigh in and be like, as a matter of fact, we were never going to be able to find world peace with this Yeltsin. But he doesn't
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
kind
He
of
sort of
no
lets himself be
regrets.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I promise we'll get into all the really juicy, fun things that we liked about this section. This is not going to be a complaint fest, but
This is the only thing I had on my list.
there's one piece of this Switch thing that bothered me, which is that Hadrian was just wrong. The other thing is that we're supposed to be really deeply invested in like the old yellering of this character that has 5 minutes of book time
Yeah.
since the middle of book one. And I think it's just the flaw of like the single POV and ignoring the side characters that like Switch
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a main character to me at this point in the books. Like there's no
No.
emotional connection. There was some when they were like preparing in the Colosso,
Yeah.
but I'm like in my brain I was like comparing it to like the betrayal of Moshe in like
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Cosmere, and I'm like, oh, like it's nothing. Like that was like physically painful. This is like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. This guy called for help.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it wasn't heartrending in any way. I was like, well, Adrian's being a dick to this guy. I kind of know, and this seems weird and bad. Like, I know what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to feel, but I didn't really feel any of that.
And I kind of took that through line, like when Rain Smythe dies later in the book, and like Sir William.
Yeah.
They weren't particularly likable or fleshed out characters. Like there were maybe 2 conversation scenes with Hadrian,
Yeah.
but like he justifies like this massive emotional turmoil and like revenge plot around their deaths. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. It's
didn't really feel like
starting
they were
to
that
feel
important to me.
like an increasingly significant flaw in the series that how big, like, what can the stakes be if I don't care about anyone who's involved in this series?
Yeah.
Like, there can be no risk if it's a bunch of essential strangers, like,
Right.
who are going through all of this. So, I don't know. I mean, it's something that can be fixed, and it's going to have to because all of the side characters are dead now. So, I guess we'll get a new band of
characters.
heathens in
I will say
book 3.
at the end, there's like a half secondary POV section where he's dead, and
Yeah.
Volca. We kind of like get the first person of Volca and stuff, and it's like, oh, I got so excited. I was like, ooh, I've been wanting this just like other perspective, and then it only lasts for like 2 pages.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't know. At first, I was thinking like it was more a first person POV issue than something else. But like, I didn't feel this way in Farseer Trilogy. I loved some of those side characters and was quite attached to them. And even like Red Rising, for as like a hammy and action hero as it is, I liked Wolf Boy and I liked Mustang and shit. And I like would care if they died. I haven't finished
Right.
the 3rd book, so we'll see what happens to them.
lots of things.
But anywho, it's not just the first person. I think it's maybe just that it's all being filtered through Hadrian's POV. And like Hadrian is someone who fundamentally does not care about other people. Like he's not
Yeah.
connected to people in that way.
Like, who at this point, after 2 books, is your favorite other character?
Probably the 8-year-old boy who's in the robot body who commandeers their ship. And then
Yeah.
Hrothgar, the Raven from March Station.
Wow, that's a throwback. But there's something to the first one you said, even though it's silly, which is that like that character was written with a personality. In its
Yes.
brief moment, we got a personality. It was a weird, polite robot thing, and then
Yeah.
a lot of the other characters just feel kind of flat.
Even Volca, like we've spent a lot of time with Volca in prison, and I don't really know what her deal is, other than like sometimes serving as a foil to Hadrian and saying "tis" instead of "it is." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's just not a lot there. Polino is just like an absolute stock cutout of gruff old soldier.
Mm-hmm.
I think
And
those
all he
people
says
need
is
more
like
time.
charge and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
people need more time and more life. Like, I'm sure those people could become interesting characters, but they haven't yet. Um,
Yeah. And I wonder if it's just because it's so all of the conversations and dialogue are just so Hadrian coded that like we're just not. Yeah, I a part of me was like, oh, is the dialogue not well written? But I don't think that. I actually like
no,
the dialogue,
the writing's
but
great.
there's hundreds and hundreds of dialogue lines with Volka, and they don't feel particularly meaningful after a while because yeah, you're right. It goes in the same little circle of like barbarian, but I love you.
Yeah. Now we kiss though.
They did kiss. That was hot.
Yeah, we were joking about she wouldn't kiss him if he was the last man on Earth. Well, I guess she would under those limited circumstances. So
Well, they were trapped in a box together for 6 months and didn't kiss, so it took
she
something
might
else.
as well not have at that point.
Yeah.
You know, you can't feel that good about that.
Well, anyway.
Well, okay, that's enough grousing because guess what? This section did kind of rip. So I feel
It
like we got to
ripped.
get
We
into
got
that.
sick plot going on.
Yeah, we did. So, as we know, and the last section, Basander and Co. show up, and a contingent of Sealson are on the way for the G7 summit Vergassos edition.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Rain Smythe and Co. have decided that to get them to come to the table, they're bringing 20,000 people out of the freezer
Oh my
and
God.
turning them over. Yikes.
What a sick move.
That's so brutal for those people. They're like, I'm really down on my luck. Can you resettle me on a new world? Yeah, absolutely. Go into the freezer. And these people are going to wake up and be like, fuck, I'm food. No.
It's the
What year
ultimate
is
like
it?
it's the ultimate like you signed the Disney Plus user agreement and so you can't sue the roller coaster for decapitating you at Disneyland. Like you signed up to get resettled to a new planet. We didn't tell you it was going to be Vorgassos.
Unfortunately, it's a
technically
planet
fulfilled our bargain.
inhabited by people who will eat you. But if
But
you'd
we
asked, we
fulfilled
would
our
have told you
promise.
that that's a possibility.
It was
Oh,
wild. I was
man.
not expecting it. Like I wrote in my notes, I'm like, what do we think the payment to Karn was for the negotiations? I thought it was gonna be like nukes or something, like a crazy weapon. I wasn't expecting little human popsicles.
I'll give you 20,000 poor people.
And just how pumped up he is to receive his cargo. It's so disturbing.
That's so fucked up. Meanwhile,
It's like, hell
Hadrian's
yeah.
losing his mind at Switch for possibly jeopardizing 4 people. God,
Oh, it's insane.
fucking ridiculous.
Also, can we talk about how Vargassos must be, one, really close to everything, and two, really easy to find?
yeah, we keep coming back to that, but as it turns out, it's basically the center of the universe.
Get it? It takes them 13 years to fly to a normal planet on a mission, but then everybody gets to Vargassos in 6 months. Or like
Was there
2
retcon?
weeks.
I wonder if there was retconning involved. Like, I'm totally fine if he needed to just like accelerate space travel because it's like an impossible task making it line up mechanically. But
Yeah,
they got some fast ass ships in the Empire.
seriously.
Yeah,
Oh man, but yeah, they come through, and I think my favorite Hadrian reuniting with his crew moment is when they're like, "So what happened for the last 6 months?" And he's like, "I'm tired. I'm not going to tell you anything. Shut up."
this is still about me, guys. While you guys have been chilling here and starving, I've been playing chess with an old guy.
But at this point, yeah, we open up the negotiations. Hadrian is back to weaseling his way in as an interpreter,
Yeah.
and there's a massive Cielson mothership, like 100,000 miles, parked out the
Yeah.
window.
A Sealson world ship. Pretty
World ship. I'm sorry.
Yet another sick ass Ruocchio world building detail. He is so good at making all these freaky aliens and planets.
It's awesome. I think the one part I had trouble with is like I forgot what the names of all the ships were, but I'm generally bad at that in books. But it like in the first couple pages of this section, there's the Demiurge, the Balmuna, the Sciavana, the Obdurate, and the Mistral. And I could not remember what the hell each one of them was.
Fascinating pronunciations you just picked for those. I'll leave it at that. It got extra confusing because they were like docking the ship in another ship.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck are we? Can we just go back to Vergassos?
Yeah, at a certain point, it was like the Sciavana inside of the fucking Obdurate.
I think it's the Schiavone. And the Demiurge, and it's all good. Whatever. We know what you're talking about.
But it's cool. We have a little war party with Rain Smythe and her lovely sidekick, Sir William.
Rain Smythe catches a classic Hadrian description of her being ugly.
Yeah, he was kind of brutal. He was like, she's limping around with a cane. She's an old woman. She's ugly.
Hair the color of dishwater. So Hadrian, shut the fuck up.
Brutal.
Yeah.
And this is like the woman who like saved his life by giving him the secret orders.
This is the person you're going to kill off in like 100 pages and ask me to be sad about it. And meanwhile, you're like, well, she is kind of ugly though. So Cielson negotiations. How did this strike you? We've got Prince Aranata.
Yeah. I mean, first, the setting of the negotiations is legitimately cool. It's in like, like a MC Escher painting of hallways that lead into a secret garden, and I actually really like the visualization of where they were meeting.
It was cool too that they had like armies and color garden shit, even though we're in a time where they don't really have like land armies anymore. They're just trying to stunt on each other.
There was actually I thought a really good job by Ruocchio later in the book when he acknowledged why they were having lightsaber fights in like future space tech world.
What was that?
He was like, yeah, basically when you have ships in deep space and they catch a few bullets, like, and rip a hole and destroy the ship, you stop using guns. And then now that they have like force fields for plasma and like laser pistols, like fighting is kind of useless at that point. And so swords became, it kind of like became the thing to embrace. So you don't damage the ships. And you can actually.
That's sort of what we talked about last episode, like giving that little veneer of believability to all the fake science. He's very good at that.
Yeah, I like that. That was something I had been wondering about. It's a good suspension of disbelief to be like, yeah, there's samurai Jedi running around fighting each other, but at least there's a reason for it.
I wasn't thinking about it. I was just like, this is cool.
I was enjoying it. And then I was like, okay, cool. That makes sense too.
I didn't think about it once.
Nope.
So the negotiations don't go well, to put it lightly.
I mean, talk about one, just I think being unprepared. Like the people who aren't Hadrian have just no concept of the Cielson beyond like kill or be killed. And it doesn't help that they're like 8 foot tall teeth monsters who drag human slaves with them.
That was tough. That was a pretty brutal description of the horrible beaten woman that they drag in on a leash.
Oh my god, that was actually just really depressing when she mouths like "kill me" when he gets in close a little bit later on, and like all like her eyes just being dead, and
that was like one of the more emotional things in like this last half was just seeing like how rough that woman had it and how bad she wanted to be out of it.
Yeah, he does write very emotive violence. Like, the way he does it, it's not like, it doesn't seem like a Bollywood, fight scene or something. Everything feels very, I don't know, very specific. Very
you telling me are you telling me it's gritty?
I think it's gritty.
Yeah, I think it's a little gritty.
It's a little gritty.
I'll put it out
gritty,
there,
brother.
Okay, so the negotiations don't go well because they use different words for the same thing. They keep being like, we want peace, we want to be equals. And the prince is like, so you want me to be your slave and suck your dick? I was like, no, that's not what we're saying.
I love it. It's like a grammar battle for 150 pages where they're like, we have no word for gift, we have no word for emissary. Like,
it's like, surely you can find another way to say it, right?
Yeah.
But apparently no.
Funny. Apparently no.
And I did struggle with how quickly Hadrian goes from my mission is galactic peace to, well, we don't have the same word for gift. So these people are actually evil monsters. And I think we got to take them out.
Yeah, I think a lot of this section is just him coming to the realization that he was wrong, but coming up for different excuses about why.
Yeah. Before I forget, because this isn't really a point that's going anywhere, you can try to yes and this, but you can't.
Okay.
It almost felt like a plot twist at reading a book like in this, the year of our Lord 2025, where we sort of get to the villains and they are in fact just kind of bad. I was expecting them to have like their own motivations in politics and have it be this like ugly like push pull between, wanting to protect his own people and not wanting to disrespect the Cielson. And that's not the turn this takes at all.
No.
And it felt like a twist. Like that sort of villain is so out that all of a sudden I wasn't expecting it. But like, we've just basically got the Dark Lord here.
No, we're like truly fighting cannibalistic demon spawn. Like
Yeah.
it's
We'll
there's
complicate
not a
that
big
in a
middle
second,
ground.
or maybe now. I think another thing that I struggled with here, with like Hadrian's pivot, is that didn't we spend 2 books with Tanaran?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Cielson.
And he gets killed in the most throwaway way in this book.
Yeah.
That I was actually upset about.
It's just clearing the decks for book 3. But like Tanaran could be negotiated with. They were able to communicate. Like,
it's interesting because there
Tanaran
were
like vouched for Hadrian.
Yeah, and there were like 2 specific points that they did negotiate on. Like one was initially when they captured Tanaran, like backs against the wall, the Cielson will surrender, and they understand the concept of prisoners because they take human prisoners later on in the fight scene.
Yeah,
and then the second one is that like the prince or princess is like, yeah, I mean, if you help us take over the other clans, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that is a strategy the Empire has deployed before. So there were some points where it's like, I don't think we've exhausted all options. Like nobody's walked away from the table yet.
Yeah. It was just like weird. And maybe that makes sense from the Empire's perspective because obviously behind the scenes they have this plan to just nuke their ship. But for Hadrian to buy into it just didn't track for me. And then and I'll pull it up, and this is probably some of Hadrian's worst philosophizing in the whole series, in my opinion. Do not let me forget to talk about the fact that the Cielson say that they will starve if they don't have humans to eat. Because that's like ice schooner whale meat level of not making sense.
Yeah. It's like, what did you do when you were like learning to build a civilization within your rock planet, subterranean rock planet?
Yeah. We now have the ability to travel hundreds of light years in mere seconds, but growing food, we couldn't crack that one.
And they offer to give them food. They're like, we'll grow you whatever food you want. We can grow cows and send them to you.
All right, I'll be honest. It was never about the food. Okay, here's Hadrian, quoting. The tigress is not evil, or so the saying goes. She is only hungry. She's only following her nature. Was it not so with the Cielson? Was it not their nature to hunt? Were they not only hungry? They say that only men are evil, that only men kill for principle or sport, that only men inflict suffering for the sake of suffering. I, who am old...
I thoroughly didn't like that train of thought.
First of all, it's scrutinize that one?
It's very like justifying a holy war in my eyes. Like, one, there's like this othering principle that's like, well, we are morally right and this other side can't be reasoned with, and therefore we are justified to slaughter them.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it that I dislike. But also, like, what is this like moral relativism with the animal kingdom circle of life? Like, this is just how life and death works for most species. It doesn't make it evil.
The tiger can't think. The tiger has no conception of right and wrong. That's why it's not evil. It's not making a choice. Like, should I kill this rabbit or should I hold off? I feel bad for the rabbit. It's not capable of having that thought. So it's not even a question of more or less evil. It's just that thing can't be evil because it can't think on that level. And
And like, how do you compare that to, like, one, having the option not to kill somebody and killing them anyway, and two, like, torture and stuff and all the horrible things that humans do? This made no sense. Like, after so long being like the chantry is the worst thing in the face of the galaxy.
And then
like, tigers are worse than the
he says
chantry.
like killing on principle is okay. It's like, well, okay, well, what principles? Like, there's some bad principles out there.
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's this is also the theme of like Hadrian's moral compass developing and his, like, I don't know, martyrdom, hero worship of himself, like through his Like there's another line a little bit later on where he's talking to Varo, the whoever the Gibson, what do they call scholiast? He's the
Yeah.
scholiast. He's like, I was a liar, I am a liar, but I'm a liar in the service of truth. It's just like this really interesting way that he's placed on a pedestal his worldview, but it's not
Yeah.
clearly defined and it's really hypocritical.
And I'm not even picking up much that seems to be asking us to be critical of Hadrian and making that point. I'm critical of it. So maybe it is working because I'm seeing that. I'm like, well, that's definitely fucked up and wrong. But is that just me? Or is the book like kind of raising that question? I sort of don't think it is.
Well, I think it's good. If he designed this book for us to be forced into a close read of Hadrian's philosophical development, I think that's actually kind of a genius move to not
Yeah.
to not kind of take that editorial leap to be like, was I right? Was I wrong? Like it really forces you to read
Yeah.
twice what Hadrian is saying.
Like when I hear an interview with Ruocchio where he says he basically agrees with Hadrian on everything, I'm like, okay, well, you might be a lunatic. I don't know. Like,
that gets interesting. That gets a little spicy.
not to break the death of the author rule, but we're a podcast. We're not writing. I don't know. We're not in a PhD program, so the author's alive.
No, but there are, on the flip side, there were a couple pieces I really liked in this section. Like there's some really good writing on like 477 where he's like, you cannot step twice into the same river.
That was cool.
I thought that was really nice. And actually, I forgot to mention this one in the Switch, the first Switch breakup that they have. He was like just talking about a friendship ending so quickly. It was like as though we traveled so fast in opposite directions that that one's light would never reach the other. I actually thought that was a cool description of a friendship breaking.
Yeah, that's good.
So anyway, like as many, what I think is interesting about this is as many flaws as I'm finding with like Hadrian's philosophizing and some of the writing, I'm also loving some of the choices that Ruocchio's making. So
Yeah, and it's a weird thing where like the philosophizing, there's like more to discuss in podcast format, whereas saying like that lightsaber fight was sick is like not what we're going to do for 30 minutes, but that is like a lot of my experience of reading this book. It's like that was cool as hell. So I don't think like our enjoyment is coming through as much as like our frustration, but yeah, there was a tremendous amount of fun stuff in this section. So
yeah. And then Hadrian starts fucking up the negotiation. He starts piping up.
Yeah, he's piping up. He's trying to take care of the girl on the chain. There's a whole thing.
He, like slaps the prince's son.
You gotta, dude, he's slapping everybody.
Gilliam Vass is the guy's kid.
He slapped. We didn't talk about this in our last episode. He slaps the slimy Eggman at one point when he comes to talk to him in his cell. It's like, why'd you punch him? It's pointless. Yeah.
Oh, Hadrian, what a
He's
silly
hitting
goober.
people. Yeah.
The best part is that him being dumb in negotiations just somehow works again. Like they start respecting him because he stands up.
Oh yeah, he has the alpha male on.
Yeah. But then we get to kind of the crux, which is they want him to be the ambassador to the CLSM.
Yes.
That's the big ask.
Yeah. And the Empire is like, yeah, you can take this guy.
It kind of lost me a little bit there because I feel like we were making progress to being like, we will give your clan supplies to stop killing us and to go kill the other clans. And then they somehow, and I wonder, to your point, if that was just a buying time tactic, knowing they were about to just betray the shit out of them. But
well, I think that my read was just that there's an information gap, and like Rain Smythe and probably a bunch of other people did not know what was going to happen, and so they probably were proceeding in good faith. Meanwhile, Basander Lin is like checking his watch. When these fuckers showing up, where's the bomb?
What a cold son of a bitch. He is bad. I like Basander a lot.
He is pretty compelling. I'll give him that. Like I want him around.
Yeah, and I like he's framed as like a very decisive leader in times of crisis too. Like this is just the dude you want in a foxhole. Unless you're Hadrian.
Yeah. He'll probably make a better... Would he make a better snap decision than Hadrian?
He does, frequently.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good point. Okay.
Do we want to talk about the gendering of the prince?
No. Honestly, I think we should just get on to the explosion of the world shit.
Yeah,
unless you want to talk about the gendering of the prince.
No, I think the only things there is that, like, mistranslation of grammar and gendering of pronouns becomes a plot point for like 20 pages. And then thankfully we're saved by a fucking ray gun murking the world ship.
Kaboom. Hello,
The
antimatter.
antimatter nuclear chain reaction just slicing through
Man,
it.
if there's one thing Ruocchio can write, it is an unbelievable description of space combat. This was so cool.
It was sick. It was awesome. I
Oh,
was
I have
also
a
super
hilarious
surprised.
in the middle of this insane scene. Oh gosh, I wish I could find it. Oh no, I didn't flag it. Never mind. There's just
the line where he was like, "Death must have smiled then." That one was badass.
No, he just did something like unbelievably antiquated grammatically about the Cielson. He was like, "in the light that not which they did not enjoy." It was just like every word was in the worst possible order. So, okay, fucking Bill Shakespeare. Well, I wish I had flagged that passage. But yeah, insane. I don't know if were you surprised? Were you shocked?
I was actually very surprised. Yeah, I was pumped.
Yeah.
I started reading that and I was like, wow, we're getting a Sanderlanche level climax right here. And it lived up to the hype.
Something felt fucky about the negotiations, but I did not anticipate an entire world ship being blown up.
Yeah, I will say at no point did I think the negotiations were going to succeed. Like something was going to, but I thought it was going to be like Karn Sagara, killing someone or something like that.
Yeah, it seemed more like Karn Sagara was going to be the one to spring a trap than
and for
Sander
him,
Lynn.
When Karn like jumps across the room and is like, "What the fuck have you done?"
Yeah,
that was hype.
That was great. Yeah, that was so well written too, because he goes to Rain Smythe first, and she's like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but genuinely, I do not know what's going on."
What a position to be in.
I see how this looks, but I'm just as lost as you are.
I love how Hadrian keeps repeating that over. He's like, "I didn't know, man.
Please,
it's not him. It's not me.
I know I just slapped your kid. That looks bad, but it wasn't me. I slapped him because he's being a dick."
But yeah, the confusion of the Cielson because of the bright lights of the explosions, like that was really cool. And then then they realize that like 1 billion of their people just got killed or something.
Did they give us a number? I just can't remember.
I think they did when the world ship first came, and they were like, each person gets 1,000 people to bring to Karn Sagara or something. Like there was some description of
they
size.
mentioned 20-something million people, but I don't know if that was the people on the world ship or is that like the people that the prince controlled. But
right. Either way,
Prince
it was a lot.
Doesn't take it well.
No.
And he's in a tough spot, really, because his ship's gone and all of his people. So it's pretty much fighter. Well, there's no flight, so it's only fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we get some pretty crazy, fast developing action. Basander just 2-taps Karn Sagara.
Wait, what if the prince had turned and like, I thought about it. I take your deal. We should work together. You guys are making some sense.
I feel like in another world, he'd be like signing the contract as the antimatter guns came through.
I was going to push back on this indemnity clause, but I think it's fine as is. Let's sign.
Yeah, we can use the state laws of New York. We don't need that.
Yeah. Sounds great. But yeah, Basander out of nowhere just fucking headshots Sagara.
That was awesome. I loved that.
I was shocked and
honky.
dismayed, but goddamn, that was he took the bull by the horns.
He really did. And then we get kind of the weapons reveal from the Cielson, which I don't love their like ceramic swords. Just the description of a ceramic sword isn't that compelling.
Yeah.
Even though I know ceramic can be like very sharp and stuff,
right?
And cool and white looking, but the like, what would you like the ninja star drone flesh eating snake ropes? Is that like how would you describe the things they start throwing at the soldiers?
I don't like those things you stick to use a electric drill around a corner. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, but they're like a cross between drones and like the teeth of a saw, and they just burrow inside you and try to kill you. And those were kind of terrifying.
Yeah, pretty scary. And then there's like a chase scene, and I don't think we need to go into too much, but yeah, they pretty much end up taking shelter in a ship. Cielson are outside.
I will say there's one
stuff.
I think the one thing, this is like a pivotal moment for me because it's when Hadrian decides he's a soldier and not a talker. Like, I think this is actually, it's before he kills the hostage. He has like a little line, and I think it's actually a callback to another author, but what is it? Cowards and faint-hearted runaways look for orations when the foe is near. And it's kind of this time where he's like, oh, I can't talk my way out of this for the first time ever. I have to go to war. And
it's
that's when
Morbin
he
time.
fulfills his destiny as being the soldier that the quiet need.
Yeah, there's some self-reflection there that he sees himself for what we've seen him as, which is a killer. He also
his Mexican standoff.
Yeah. But yeah, and before that, another like moment of self-reflection I thought was really good was when he talks about his own motivations for his whole quest, and he ends up like tying it back to Volca. And that's something we've talked a lot about is like, why is he even doing this? He started out for adventure, and now his quest is world peace, but it doesn't feel like that's what he really cares about. And I think we were sort of right. Like, that isn't why he was doing it. It was like he wanted to show himself as someone like more high-minded to Volca.
Yeah, he wanted to be like the person Volca would love. Yeah. Which is a very 20s thing to do. Like,
he's just a 70-year-old man.
In a 20-year-old
for
body.
20, yeah.
I don't know. I think it points to like the development of Hadrian as a teenager and now like a young adult.
Yeah.
You went into like campaign politics because there was like a hot chick working for Bernie,
Yeah. And now you're working for JD Vance.
You're like, how did I get here?
Okay. Do we want to get into standoff?
Yeah. Pretty brutal.
Tough.
Not
a lot of good choices there. I guess that's the nature of a standoff.
He tries to negotiate. He is not prepared to negotiate.
Okay, if there's one time where you can't negotiate with the Cielson, it's right then, because that guy starts biting necks.
Oh my god, he's like, when he disembowels one of the soldiers and then the other Cielson goes to go eat the bowels, and he's like, he's still pretending they're not cannibals.
That shit was heinous. That was
shit. Oh really? My god.
Yeah, it's weird saying it's my favorite scene in the book, but this was very compelling.
I mean, this is when you're like, wow, they are the bad guys. Yep.
Yeah. Listen, not to make sweeping judgments about a race of billions of aliens, but at least these ones seem bad.
Yeah, and then he kills the prince's kid.
Yeah, well, fuck that kid.
Yeah, fuck that kid.
I know they sort of made it out to be this like really hard choice. I was like, I kind of hate that guy. I don't know, take him out.
Also, that was a weird choice to make, like a royal Cielson who was not like a baby. It was like a young adult Cielson into like a sniffling, rail-thin, bratty child who has like hacking coughs and can't stand up for him. Like, it was just I was like, who's this little bitch?
They should have made him like Crispin.
Yeah, Crispin would have been better. I did think it was funny when Nobuta, like, that's probably a horrible pronunciation. I love my horrible
when you said that, I was like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Nobuta, little Nobuta. When he starts piping up in the negotiations initially, I was laughing because it's like Hadrian looking at the younger version of himself with his dad.
Yeah, what's his story? We need more of that. We need more Nobuta.
Nobuta. But yeah, so negotiations fall apart. Everyone's killed, and they launch a counteroffensive, which I thought was pretty hype.
Yeah, cool as hell.
Yeah. What do? They vent helium out and shine floodlights on the Cielson and then just charge them.
Yeah. And get a little hand-to-hand combat. Mm-hmm. Doesn't go that well.
It goes well for a while.
Well, for a little bit until he gets
He kills a lot of Cielson.
Well, yeah. He's got a high matter sword.
I know.
And they end up in a classic duel, but on a battlefield.
Yeah, so cool.
And yeah, I was not saying that in like an eye roll. That scene was awesome.
No, it was really well written. He writes like the fencing and dueling really well.
Yeah, as long as you're not using fencing terms to describe left and right down hallways, I'm in.
Oh, Sinistra.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so it's hard, though, to duel a guy who also has a lightsaber and is taller and stronger than you and has claws and sharp teeth.
Yeah, he was really at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's like if I had to fight Baby Gronk.
Yeah. But, so he gets his hand chopped off, and then he gets his head chopped off, and then stomped like a grape. And that's the end of the book.
And you think that'd be the end of him.
But no, the Howling Dark.
It is, in fact, just the beginning.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about the eponymous chapter
Yeah, you got
itself.
so mad at me when I said it was feeling like an Empire of Silence last episode, and then now you're saying this shit. What's wrong with you?
Well, the chapter was
Hypocrite.
called Howling Dark.
I know. I'm just was a little hurt by that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy.
I was intentionally trying to end the episode, but it's okay.
So there was a good like 10 seconds where I had to put the book down when we find out that there's a force. Like the quiet is just a force, and that
Whoosh.
the Jedi are using their lightsabers and are protected by the force.
Maybe cart before the horse here, but is Gibson actually? God, I feel like such a moron even saying this. Has Gibson been the quiet the whole time?
So I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I'm just wondering.
I think Gibson. First of all, I think Gibson might be alive.
Oh, he's definitely alive. Well, were we ever even told he's dead?
No, but it was. I mean, I think it was assumed that he was.
Oh, I've been working under the assumption Gibson is alive and well somewhere far away.
I'm waiting for him to come back, but
Yeah.
no, we kind of get okay. So this is where like the history lesson from Karn Sagara's clones comes in.
Yeah, his
comes in
children,
handy, which we should talk about.
who he
yes,
loves.
I'm sorry, his children who are also him. That the quiet can manifest as like dreams or visions that tell you where to go, and that's one of the reasons the Americani were able to defeat the Brethren. I suppose
They can enter Teleron Riode.
Yes, that's a callback.
Man, talk about making a comment that you cannot really respond to. And just destroying our conversation.
That's the end of a date. If that was a third date comment,
What is
that's
the opposite of
please
yes
moment.
and? It's not no but, it's Teleron Riode.
That's the worst improv set up of all time.
All right, give me a place in a weekday. Wednesday, Teleron Riode. What the fuck?
Oh my god. But anyway, the Force is like, it's not your time, young Padawan, and they reincarnate him sloppily. Like he still has a hand chopped off that's laying in the lake.
I had no understanding of mechanically how this happened.
No.
Where's it? Wait,
And he
can
has
you?
two
sorry.
swords?
Yeah, he's got two swords, a different arm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it? There's something about the arm because there was some like lamps. Is it called lamp shading or lamp posting?
Was that?
Okay, well, I don't fucking know. It's like the Sanderson foreshadowing thingy. Really. Hang a lampshade on this.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking
I was
about?
like,
Anyways,
what are you talking about?
there
No.
was some comment like earlier in the book about Hadrian keeps injuring the same arm. It's the one that got like burned by lead and all the other stuff. There's
The one
something
his
about
ring
the
was
arm,
on.
and that's the arm that gets cut off. So I don't know.
Yeah, he says his good arm gets cut off in the middle of the fight, and then when he comes back, it's his other arm.
Yeah, what
is the
arm
one
does
that
he
was
jack
injured.
off with now?
It's hard when Valka's in the room for 4 months.
At
Semen
this point
retention
now,
gang.
I am just trying to say shit you can't respond to.
My one note on Semen Retention Gang is that Vara or Varo or whatever his name is, the scholiast is a self-denial specialist, Chalcentrite.
You're
I was
so
like,
right.
Ruocchio is definitely a Chalcentrite.
Yeah. Is that the word for it?
Yeah. That's their like sect or whatever.
That also like is a word Ruocchio would use.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's walking around with the one-eyed soldier at all times.
Yeah. But he pops up reincarnated and slices the evil Cielson prince's head off.
Yeah, he gets an anime line in too, and he does it, which I can't even
Now
remember,
it's
but it was
over.
something like, "Not today,
He says,
pal."
now it's over.
Oh, okay. Try this one on for size.
Clean up in aisle 9.
Eat bullets, fuckers.
So good.
Man.
Man.
Yeah, and I mean, like, whatever, shit shakes out. I think he passes out, and they carry him to glory. And a lot of people saw this man come back from the dead, as it turns out.
Yeah. The only tricky thing is there wasn't camera footage because Karn Sagara was still rebooting. So they do allude later on that there was like some of them have body cams, like LAPD cops or some shit.
Yeah,
that sometimes work. Oops,
they
it
got
wasn't
some
turned
like
on.
420p footage of Hadrian coming back from the
Exactly.
dead.
But yeah, everybody sees it, including Basander, who is now worshipping
All
Hadrian.
in.
All in. I mean, wouldn't you though? Like,
I mean, if I still got their head cut off and come back, it would really shake my worldview.
not even cut off and stomped like a grape, I think is what Valka says.
Yeah. Yeah. You honestly can't blame the man. There's something going on with this boy.
Like he's a religious guy, and this dude just reincarnated and
yeah. And I'm so interested in like how much of this Hadrian is going to internalize and like how he's going to view himself moving forward. Like he's the chosen one for purposes of the quiet, but is he going to see himself that way? And if you take a guy with narcissistic tendencies already and give him free license to do, I don't know, it's going to be fascinating.
I mean, you can already see him respond at the end to where when he gets invited to be a royal Victorian knight by the emperor himself, like he's excited. This is like every little boy's dream, you know.
He did it. He's Simeon the Red or whatever. Is that the guy's
also
name?
Emperor. Yeah, it is. Emperor William has 48 titles, and I was chuckling.
Wow, that's very Daenerys.
Yeah.
Did you catch the reference to Winston Churchill?
I did.
Winston the Good, who liked brandy or whatever.
And they thought he was like an emperor king, but Hadrian was like, it's debated in history whether that was true.
Okay, one world building note.
Actually, can we do a quick world building section on the history of the Americani that we learned about?
Well, I don't remember that much, so I'm happy to lend the floor to you.
Okay, so this is coming from, I think, Rin and Suzuha, the clones of Karn Sagara. And Hadrian is basically asking them, like, well, you're old as fuck. Like, what's up with the Americani? What's up with the ship?
You're 12, but also 10,000.
And we learned some crazy things. Like, one, I thought it was interesting how they described how AI kind of took over Earth. That, like, we had become their pets and we hadn't even noticed.
Yeah, we built all these things, and then they started building people too. And then that is kind of what led to the war.
Yeah, it was a little on the nose of all our AI freak out that's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
But then also that Vergassos, like, and we see this when they're fleeing through the ship, has like these Foundation war machines that are like it was like engines that can make cold, weapons that can destroy matter and tear the fabric of space. And we get some foreshadowing that these are going to be used.
Great Hadrian present day foreshadowing, him saying like, I know what these things are now. It's like, oh fuck yes, like I cannot wait to see those bad boys in action.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
and it sounds like the Cielsen had, that's what I thought. I texted you actually that I was like, are they gonna flee in their ship and leave the Cielsen to have Karn's
that's what
with
you
all
were
the war
thinking.
machines?
That's a good
because
thought.
you know they're running away, and I thought they were just gonna shuttle off to the main fleet and like leave the ship behind with 200 Cielsen.
Damn, he should have done that.
I mean, yes, but then they'd have these war machines or whatever.
No. No, I can't wait to see. They have all these cool ass names that I can't remember, but
yeah. And then there's an interesting in that section too. It's like why they fought against the machines. It's like their vision called for man to be only another creature in the garden and not the master of it. Yeah, and I was like, that's good Ruocchio Christian alliteration. And then he's talking about. This is the rabbit hole I wanted to talk to you about. He is like mentioning like Emperor William, like the first Emperor William, Bill Gates of Earth, and a couple other like made up historical figures. And he's like including Felsenburg. And I was like, that's a weirdly specific name. What's Felsenburg?
I also saw that, but didn't think to go Google.
So Felsenburg, this is really Catholic coded. Felsenburg was a character in the 1907 dystopian sci-fi novel Lord of the World, which talks about the reign of the Antichrist and the end of the world, and was called prophetic by multiple popes in the early 1900s.
Wow.
It was written by an Anglican who turned out Catholic and predicted a lot of like plague and pestilence and war and stuff. Like it was called like very prescient for its time.
It's like the 1907 version of Left Behind by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. I don't know if your upbringing was less religious than mine, but that shit was hot in Kerrville, Texas.
No, I mean I think this is the same. Like, here's a critical review of Lord of the World with Felsenburg. The world depicted in Lord of the World is one where creeping secularism and godless humanism have triumphed over traditional morality.
My God, are they letting trans women play sports?
Yeah. So I think it's pretty. Like we can go deep into that one and whether Ruocchio has like some wild Catholic notions that are underpinning all of
Probably.
this.
Oh,
I
all
think
right, so
so.
we got to grab a copy of Lord of the Wars or whatever. What's it called?
Lord of the World.
Whatever.
Also, it's like an anti-Marxist, which gets you excited for future
Yeah,
reads.
I heard we got some anti-com propaganda coming in books 3 through 5 or something.
But yeah, anyway, I got excited about that rabbit hole. But
That's fascinating. Thank you for looking that up because I saw that
yeah,
name and it felt so specific.
right.
Man,
That's why I was like, it has to be something
no
interesting.
one will do this, but it would be so cool to have an annotated version of these books just to like get someone to do the homework and dig up the references. Someone
Yeah, because there are so many literary references in this.
in the past couple of years, someone did that with the Wheel of Time. It was really cool. It was like a professor at one of the schools where Robert Jordan, maybe it's like where he graduated from or something. But yeah, it's just like unpacking all of the Wheel of Time because so many of the characters are like rooted in different mythological traditions, and it just traced all of those. Very cool thing to do, and I bet you could do
Yeah,
similar exercise
and
here.
and I wonder if we're gonna get more of that in books 3, 4, 5, etc. Given
Yeah.
that what you discovered from your research is that he became Catholic during this book, right?
Yeah, I think he was like the first book was pretty long gestating, and he was I don't know if an atheist. I think he might have used that word, but like he definitely came into his own as a Catholic, either just before or while writing this book, and that's maybe part of the reason he said like why the Chantry feel a little bit different here than in book one, where they're just like kind of straight up evil church, and here they have more of a back seat. So maybe maybe future books where we get more Chantry, we'll see how they get fleshed out. But it also like even if he's moved to a worldview that's less in line with my own, it sort of is interesting. Just like these big long series do change, and they're sort of imperfect things, and it's fascinating just like watching people's lives affect their work they're trying to write over these long stretches.
Right. I mean, it makes sense if you write something over a decade, like your approach is going to change, your style's going
Yeah.
to change.
That's like one of the things that I liked about Moby Dick so much is that it's just like obviously a fucked up book. They're like characters who drop in and out, and like the ending is so bizarre and out of nowhere, and it's just fascinating watching this like half finished crazy masterpiece play out.
I kind of like that experience a bit more than like as much as I love like a Vonnegut novel or a
Just
Discworld novel.
just tight,
It's like
yeah.
it's so tight and it's so pointed about one particular view. It's cool to see messy development
Yeah.
and conflicting views on page. Yeah, I agree.
To continue my tradition of bringing up Fish every episode, that also like is what I like about Fish is like some shows
Oh
are a
my
fucking train wreck, but then sometimes they nail it, and it's like fascinating watching it try to work,
Yeah.
which isn't what most people want from their music, and I do understand that.
Yeah. By next episode, listeners, we will have seen Goose at Madison Square Garden, which will maybe
can
be a pivotal moment for me. I don't know.
I can promise you we're going to get a jam review on one of the next 3 episodes of the pod because I'm going to make it happen. So I'm very excited about that.
This is kind of the turning point for me of whether I'm a jam band guy or not.
You are a white man of a certain age. Any parting thoughts on Hadrian Half Mortal? 2 syllables.
Oh man. I'm excited for the palace intrigue.
Yeah.
Although who knows if we get rerouted on the way to the forum, I think is what they call it. A funny thing often happens on the way to the forum.
I do not know what the fuck you're talking about.
Sorry, this is a good old movie called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Get Him to the Greek. I'm talking Russell Brand right now?
I hope like one person is still listening an hour in and 8 episodes in and gets that joke. Shout out you.
This episode feels long.
It feels long, but it's awesome. I'm having a great time, and everyone's has to listen to me because we have a podcast.
All I'm saying is this got me pretty hyped for book 3, actually. I'm really excited now.
I'm excited. No, okay, I'm excited about Palace Intrigue. Valka Romance Unlocked. I'm hoping we actually get some interesting development there. I'm excited to maybe have like a new character that we care about. Seems like it's a pretty clean playing field right now.
Yeah, new side characters, I would imagine. Bring Crispin back, please.
Any predictions now that we're actually at the same place of reading? We can both predict.
I predict I'm going to go in on my theorizing and say that Gibson is not an ordinary guy. Throw that out there. Maybe allied with the quiet, knows what they are, whatever. Or maybe even the scoliasts in general. They're just knowing things about the quiet. How about that? Do we like
Okay.
that?
I think that's good. The
Like they're the
scoliasts are more
keepers
than they
of the
seem.
flame or some shit.
Yeah.
And I think, here's another prediction. I think he's going to draw back on the all Sealson are evil theme.
Oh.
I think we're going to get complications among Sealson.
I think he's going to double down and become a chantry guy.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be a bummer. But sure.
What do you think Emperor William's going to be like? Think he's a cool dude?
Hot.
Isn't he like 6,000 years old?
Yeah, I still think he's going to be hot. I don't know. I'm imagining just like stock emperor, just like swings his dick around.
I'm hoping he's a character and not just a
goofy guy.
Yeah.
He's a pet monkey.
He has another like crow thing.
That would be really funny. It's like, all right, here's our buffoon emperor. Sorry. I don't know how he got here. No, I'm imagining just he's generic emperor with a lot of gravitas and is kind of threatening.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for something else.
I'm pumped though. And
okay.
Because we've already talked for 70 minutes about a third of a part of a book, we can end this discussion. But we have some good stuff coming out after this. A couple one-offs that I think are really exciting.
I think you can just drop
a palate cleanser.
I think you can say the name.
We are going to release a one-off on Guards by Tara Pratchett.
And Do You Like Mice?
Redwall.
Hello.
By Brian Jacques.
Well done. Did you know that it's pronounced Jakes?
Oh, fuck.
I was like, you definitely did that right, but apparently it's Jakes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited to get lavish descriptions of feasts made by moles.
I picked it up from the library today. Start reading it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be such a lovely. And I'm currently reading Crime and Punishment. Wow.
Woof.
Book starts with Raskolnikov walking into a bar, and a drunk guy sidles up to him and tells him his whole life story.
Excellent.
That's it.
Very Russian. Very Russian.
It's just like, this is the least fantasy thing I've ever read. It's just, he's just a guy who just got accosted by a crazy person at a bar who told him he's a drunk and his wife hates him. Like,
I love that.
Excited to see
Russian literature is so great.
They are so sad, man.
Yeah. But also, if you're listening and you want us to cover a particular book or talk about something in the series, write us a note. We got some good notes in the past week.
Yeah.
Some Spotify comments, some Reddit
any
messages.
Recs, any whatever. We're here we aim to please.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you for those who are listening, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.